Welcome to episode number 9 of season 2 of What If Harry Potter Was in Star Wars. Thank you so much for your support on the other parts of this series, and if you haven't seen any of those parts, or series 1, the links will be in the description below. Having deactivated the alarms and anti-apparition wards, the band moved through the cold and see Dementors patrolling the streets. Harry was about to use his Patronus, but the Jedi moved them away with the Force. Looking round the corner of the 3 broomsticks, Harry sees 20 Death Eaters marching down towards his direction. Harry waves for the Jedi to move the Dementors towards him, and sure enough, the Dementors get the attention of the Death Eaters. As much as Voldemort thought he had formed an allegiance with the cloaked creatures, they followed nobody. Soon, the Death Eaters were throwing up Patronus charms, allowing Harry and the clones on one side, and the Jedi behind the post office on the other, to form a pincer movement and take out the disorientated Death Eaters. The frightened shopkeepers peer through their windows as the dust settles, including Aberforth Dumbledore, but there is no time for greetings. Aberforth now emerges from the Hog's Head, brandishing his wand at Harry, telling him to get inside, his robes picking up snow as he strode towards them. Harry ignores him, as he had his own plan. A nice surprise for Voldemort was in order. Heading to the left-hand side of the street to Honeydukes, where the owner Ambrosius Flume and his wife had presumably escaped from, they head into the cellar, and down the narrow passageway, which is a struggle for most of them. The clones light the way with their torches, but Harry knew that there were unlikely to be any traps in here. Now approaching the rear of the stone statue, Harry casts a mild Reductor Curse, but as expected, the defences have been fortified since his previous visit. Obi-Wan and Anakin step forward and push their lightsabers into the wall, and see it dissolve at their blade. Now exiting onto the 3rd floor, they find it to be deserted, but looking at the staircases above and below, Death Eaters patrolled every other floor. This would need to be a silent operation, whilst Harry looked for what he had figured out to be a Ravenclaw related object. Harry cast a silencing charm over them, and they moved to the 1st staircase. Harry had warned them of the random nature of the stairs, and sure enough, Anakin only just managed to front flip to the 4th floor corridor, before a gap appeared in one of the stairs. Anakin used this to his advantage, and grabbed the head of a Death Eater from behind, before cleanly slicing his head off, without spilling a single droplet of blood. Everyone else followed his lead, and soon, they were on the 5th floor, where the Carrows were waiting. Anakin is again about to take charge, but Harry holds him back. He had unfinished business with this lot. Waving his wand at a painting to the left of the common room entrance, it jiggled slightly from his position, distracting Alecto. Everyone moved forward 3 meters, allowing themselves to be seen. The Carrows pull out their wands. Dodging purple-coloured spells, the Jedi flip over the surprised Carrows, and force pushes a suit of armour into Amicus's path, forcing a shield charm to be put up. Now with the upper hand, the clones move in, their blaster fire weakening the shields. But in return, the silencing charm put on by Harry was weakening as well. He needed to move in for the kill. Dodging several streaks of orange light, Harry broke the shield of the Carrows with a disarming spell, bringing them to their knees. With no mercy at all, Harry used a severing charm on their torsos, fatally wounding them. Obi-Wan shook his head in annoyance. It was no wonder he and Anakin worked so well together. Harry walked up to the common room door, and the Eagle Knocker began to speak. Just then, Harry saw the Jedi turn around, as a ghostly figure glided towards them. It was of course, Helena Ravenclaw. Harry was on one hand happy to find her, but was annoyed he had not worked it out earlier. To his annoyance, Ravenclaw was cold, speaking in riddles, but could sense her guilt. She had told this to Voldemort before. Harry pretended to be interested, but he already knew where the object was. Knocking at the entrance to the common room again, Helena answered the riddle for them, before gliding away, and Harry rushed in and saw what he was looking for. The statue of Rowena Ravenclaw, and on top of her head, an imitation of her diadem. Now leading the Jedi again, he looked up to the 6th and 7th floors, and saw triple the number of Death Eaters that had been guarding the lower floors. Stealth was not possible here. The Jedi ignited their blades, whilst Harry applied a disillusionment charm on himself for now. Plo Koon, Mace Windu and Yoda vaulted to the 7th floor, and the Death Eaters turned around, unaware that they were surrounded. Attacking the 3 Jedi, the others moved in from the 5th floor, startling the other distracted Death Eaters, with Clone Force 99 also picking them off in a variety of methods. Harry now joined the fight. Using a borrowed grapple hook, he swung on a banister and began to fire cutting curses in all directions, injuring Rookwood. Seeing a fanged frisbee on the floor beside Shaq T, Harry transfigured it into a metal pipe and used his high ground to knock out the Death Eaters. Suddenly, from the 7th floor, a bustling could be heard, as from the room of requirement, dozens of students emerged, accompanied by some members of the Order of the Phoenix. They all stopped, looking at the scene in front of them. Death Eaters one by one were falling, at the hands of very odd humanoid and creature hybrids, equipping what appeared to be weapons of energy. but looking up, they saw what they had truly wanted. Harry Potter had returned to Hogwarts. That is it for episode number 9 of season 2 of What If Harry Potter Was in Star Wars. If you'd like to see a part 10 of this series, please like this video, and if you're new to this channel or my other channel, subscribe for more tips. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.